Hello everyone, this is Art of Maku. So we are going to talk about how I paint colors and textures. We all know that 2D illustration is commonly painted in plain colors, and for a very long time I'm doing the same thing. Then there comes a time where I discovered artists that are doing textures, and I really appreciate how cool it is. I mean, your drawing's not gonna be that simple anymore because adding textures may cause your art style to look more interesting because there is so much going on the surface. For me, it really contributes to the beautification of my art style because it brings the touch of realism, specifically when you add textures on the clothes and skin. There are clothes or fabrics that require so much of textures like fur and knitted sweaters. And to be able to do that, of course, we have to discover brushes that will fit the role. Okay, so I only have two main brushes for textures, the spray texture and texture A. I use the spray texture to almost every part of the drawing and mostly visible to almost every surface. The other one is texture A, which I often use in clothes and fabric, and sometimes to the shadows of the body and blush on in the face. I will show later how to apply. There is also what I call methods of how I actually use these brushes. There is crisscross shading and faded shading technique. It is a style of making strokes like crisscross that applied using texture A brush. It is a technique that a stroke of brush was faded by erasing the edges or maybe overlapping another brush using spray texture. You can use the brush to erase or to overlap the main color. Sometimes I use in shadows where I used to erase the edges using spray texture. Okay, so right now I'm going to demonstrate how I use spray texture. You can see that I am overlaying these colors, using the spray brush. And as you can see, the colors are blending because it's automatically built into the brush because I customize it. So there could be changes of colors. There are lighter colors and darker colors just blending in. You just have to use these carefully, that the light colors should be painted on the parts of the body where it needs to be highlighted, like the shoulder or the chest part. Of course there should be more lighter colors in there because it's kind of like a bulky part of the body. Then now I'm using the texture A brush. This is for the solid shadows because we really need solid shadows, because in reality we have that, and we also have shadows that are faded. So we're gonna put shadows that are faded too later on. To be able to do that, we have to erase using spray brush. So it's kind of look like faded now, right? So here again, I'm going to use again the texture A brush for the solid shadows. Then I am going to erase this later using the spray brush. So you know the shadow will be drawn rightfully. I mean, you know, it doesn't really look off. You know, it really looks good that if we erase some parts of it. You know, like if we give faded effect on it, like this one. So right now I am going to show you some samples of how I create these blush ons or the shadows of the face and the shadows of the face. As you can see, I first paint blush on parts using the texture A, and then I'm going to erase the lower part of it using this spray texture, so it would look like faded and it doesn't look like, you know, like a straight line blush on, of course. Then I just have to like add some shadows on the chin sometimes. And then this, I have to put under eye shadows and then connect it to the nose. Just to emphasize the nose, because sometimes the nose looks so camouflage, you can't really see it without, you know, the shadows. If it's just if you just draw it like lines, like a linear nose, you know, sometimes the nose looks really invisible. So sometimes I put shadows or darker colors on it, like secondary colors. Then the chin part, sometimes it's good to have, you know, little shadows in there, but there are drawings that doesn't need to have that. Then of course the blush on, again using the texture A. We just have to like overlap and overlap again, just to get the right blending, you know, of the makeup, because it looks like makeup. So again, I am erasing the lower part using the spray brush. This is very rare, but sometimes I do adjust the blush on using the wrap tool. So we have this guy right here. Again, we are doing the blush on. As you can see, a very solid color and a very solid brush using the texture A. But later on, I am going to erase the lower part of it, so you would see the fading technique that I said before, because it's really important, especially on the shadows and the blush ons. Like this one, I'm going to erase. You would see the difference, that now it looks like more, you know, pleasing than before, because the first version was like very solid line. And then now, of course, we have to blend the color. We pick the right color of the blush on according to his skin. So next, in this character, we are going to use a lot of texture A brush on the clothes because it's a denim jacket. So we are currently applying the method or the technique that I said, the crisscross technique. You know, so as you can see, I'm just like crisscrossing all of these strokes So it would look like, there's a pattern of fabric in there that was going on the jacket. We just have to like play it, but very simple play, I mean, you don't have to like make a lot of curves. You just have to like make, these cross lines until you find the right tone of the colors, the right pressure of the colors, like the darker part and then the highlight part of the clothes itself. So yeah, this denim jacket is mostly made of texture A brush. Okay, and then now finally we are using the spray brush for the clothing. This one I often use for magical dresses, the water dress and all that glowing ethereal clothes that I design to these characters. So as you can see, it's just I have to like, you know, stroke some of it. I just have to, stroke lines with it, and then I just have to, you know, direct the flow of the clothes or the dress that I would like to give the character. So this part I am currently studying how I wanted the bra to look like. And as you can see, there are a lot of brushing and you know the shaping that's going on in here. So I'm currently like trying to figure out what shape would I would do. So it's more of just experimenting a lot because spray brush is a very free brush. It's very it's unlimited. You can do whatever you want, whatever kind of shape you want it, whatever kind of shape you wanted. So, but of course, you also have to be careful using it because it really scatters everywhere. So you have to, give the right direction to your hands. So I think I'm trying to like figure out in this part what kind of bra or tube I really wanted this to look like. So I wanted to draw a kind of a bra that doesn't meet on the middle of it, but it meets, but it doesn't really meet. That you can see there's a gap between on it because for me it looks so magical. So just like what I wanted to do. So yeah, and all of it were like faded and scattered like everywhere. The tiny dots of the spray texture you can see like just scattering. So it looks so magical just for me. So yeah, it really looks good. This brush really looks good if you want to make something like ethereal effect kind of to the clothes. Okay, so everyone, that's pretty much it. I hope you learned something. And just always remember that it's always going to be the technique that you have. These techniques that I just gave to you were just, based on my art style or the way I draw. But it's also really good if you improvise because, it really goes natural to you and it will make easy to you to use these brushes. And I will include all of these two brushes on the attachment section so you could use it. And yeah, just give me feedback so I will have some insights on your thoughts of this, and just comment down whatever you wanted to learn more in the future, and that will be all good. So thank you for watching.